everybody, it's your old pal Rob, and welcome to, finally, the top 10 games of all time according to, well, to me, which really doesn't mean much, but it's the top 10 of Rob's tabletop world, if that means anything to anyone. So without further ado, why don't we just get to it and get this one over with, and then we can talk about it later. At number 10 is a game that I absolutely have loved for years. This goes back to the early 80s, when some of my friends were in college and stuff like that, and we'd get together and just pizza and play this game and just destroy each other to no end. And that is Car Wars. Now, they just came out with that new Kickstarter thing, which I was more than happy to go out and get. I'm missing only one car pack, I think. But I love it even more. And I just hope that Steve Jackson always does some kind of deluxe thing with every game that they have. The Ogre thing was ridiculous, and the Car Wars thing is absolutely ridiculous. And it's just on a whole different scale and is glorious for sure. And number 9 is a game that I fell in love with, and it's very inexpensive to play, and that is D100 Dungeon. I love this game. I love how I can play and go on a solo adventure, and I don't need anybody to play with. I can have this just incredible experience and really just get lost in a single player, taking him from a lowly peasant and eventually owning a castle and becoming a gun for hire and hiring people and trying to maintain things through my adventures. It is a wonderful experience, and Martin Knight is one of the smartest guys around and has done a fantastic job with D100 Dungeon, and that is why it is number 9 on my all-time greats. At number 8, another new entry. The more I play this game, the more stuff I get from this company, the more I love this company. And this company is one of the best out there today, and Core Space is just a fantastic game. I love Stargrave and a lot of the things that you do, but there's just something about Core Space, that whole scavenger type of attitude that you take and running into different things, trying to deal with the robots coming at some point, and there's just so much going on with this. And with the recent addition of Firstborn, this makes this one of my just all-time favorite games of all time, because I just love it so much, and there's just so much to it and so much more coming, which just makes this thing just a wonderful, wonderful role-playing miniature tabletop experience, and I think that's all I could ever want in games. At number 7 is another new entry, and when I had COVID last year and I was suffering and I could not sleep, this game really meant a lot to me because it got me through a lot. And there's so much to it, and with its recent Kickstarter that it has, and the newer version that's coming out, well, it's not a newer version, but the expansion that's coming out to it, Chronicles of Drungor is just fantastic. It's innovative, it's smart, it plays well. I love the way the whole system works, and I love the characters, I love the miniatures, I love the trays that hold the terrain, which makes it builds this 3D aspect to it. It really turned out to be one of my favorite role-playing games of the year. And I love this game. The guys and their support is fantastic. And if you have a chance to get this, I highly, highly suggest it, because it is a fantastic, wonderful experience. Chronicles of Drungor. I'll mess that name up, but I think you'll know exactly what I mean. At number 6, now this is going to come in as a surprise to some people, because usually this is a top 5 game. and that is Blood Bowl. I love Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl is one of my favorite games with the newer edition. The recent addition of Dungeon Bowl, all the wonderful newer teams that they've come out with. And then, unfortunately, Mr. Jervis finally calling it quits earlier this year. It's a game that I hope will continue to be supported. I love playing it when I get a chance to play it, and now that Justin's around, I think we'll play it more. But when I really look at things right now, we have not played this in quite some time, and I've actually enjoyed playing sevens from it a little bit, you know, to shorten the game up. But I'm itching to find a bunch of people and have a league like I used to, and just having a blast, even if it's over the internet, which is very possible to do. I would love to do that for sure, if it's possible. At number 5 is a game that you've seen us bring back to life here recently. And, you know, I want to say something real quick. You know, these top 10 games, out of all the games, I love all these games. I think they are fantastic. And to sit in my top 10, you really have to be something special. Being in the top 50, you have to be special with the thousands of games that come out each year. These were the top 50 that really stood out. And at number 5 is a game that you will see for quite some time on here, and that's Shadows of Brimstone. Just one of the all-time great games from Flying Frog Productions. One of their most finest works, and I'm looking forward to them bringing out even more stuff and really just doing what they do best, and that's making fantastic games with a wonderful story. I would love to see them do a space version of this, because that would be just out of control. But you know something? With all the different warps that you go through and all the different periods of time and derelict ships and everything else, they kind of give you a little bit of everything, even though it's Clint Eastwood and Tuco that are doing it. But that's okay. I'll get through it, and I love this game, and it's just one of those all-time greats. At number 4, I think people are going to have a heart attack. I know a number of people are going to have a heart attack, and that is Space Hulk. Okay, you probably thought this be 2, maybe 1, maybe 3 at the lowest. I'll tell you why. Games Workshop doesn't owe us, but you know, all the years that they've come out with newer editions of Space Hulk, it would have been nice to see some expansions for this. There's plenty of stuff, bootleg stuff and this, that, and the other that you can get, but you know, to have Deathwing and Gene Stealer, or a reimagining of it, I think would be really kind of cool. An expansion maybe where you're at in the Necrons, you know, or other things, I think would really give us what we really want. And I love this game. It's one of my all-time favorites, but it actually only fell a couple notches because, you know, after all these years, we still haven't gotten any new material from it, or a new set even. Even though, you know, this most recent set is you know, right up, you know, it ages very well, and it does a fantastic job, just as much as the first edition still means a lot to me. But at number 4, it is Space Hulk. At number 3, this is a game that I fell in love with playing solo. I fell in love playing with a bunch of people. I find that it's one of my favorite videos I've ever done. And I like the one that Ricky Royal did even better. And that is Xayah. With its expansions, the solo play is just fantastic. It's a giant sandbox, and it is just adventure after adventure, and it's never the same. It is a fantastic, wonderful experience, and it's just one of those things that it's a game that really sticks with me, and I love this game. I play it. I love the souped up edition that I got, you know, getting different stuff for it and everything like that. And I absolutely love this game. And it kind of almost switched spots with Nemo's War, even though I just recently found out that Nemo's War has a new expansion out. So now, who knows where that's going to end up next year. But to be honest with you, I'm not going to change anything. I already made the list before I found out about the expansion, and we're going to leave it at that, but I'm anxious to play that for Nemo's War. But Xayah has jumped up a lot of spots. It's getting a lot of playability, and it's something I really, really, really enjoy. At number 2, it usually is my all-time favorite game, and unfortunately it dropped down a rung, and that's Warhammer Quest 95. I really would love to see the old world redone, and this one is just, it'll always stick in the top 5. It may jump up and down a little bit depending on when I get it to the table or not, but it's kind of to a point where, you know, we wish that they would redo it. We wish that they would do a lot of different things, update the models, all that other stuff, and it's just one of those games they just won't do it. They gave us this new version with new rules, which is good. You know, Blackstone Fortress is in our top 50, and we really enjoy it. But the old Warhammer Quest 95 just is out of price for a lot of people and is an absolute masterpiece. And, you know, you just wish they would see that. I mean, it's like printing money. All they have to do is, you know, update the models, give us a little more storyline, and boom, you're off and running, and you might as well just print money, Games Workshop. But they don't do it, and that's why she slipped down a little bit to number 2, but is always near and dear to my heart. So what's number 1? I think this is going to come as quite some surprise to a lot of people, but my number 1 game right now is 4 Against Darkness. 4 Against Darkness, it has so many fantastic role-playing elements in it. It does so much for role-playing. The expansions, there's tons of stories that you can take your 4 adventurers on, and whether you want to go to the depths of hell or fight the gods of Olympus or just a good old-fashioned cobalt beating, it's all there for you. Not to mention the cost effectiveness of the game. You get so much game in just that one manual. For under 20 bucks, the replayability is so much just from the regular book. And I think as far as value and beauty and using your imagination and just plain old fun. And I haven't been tired of it. I break it out quite a bit. Every time I go check on Drive-Thru RPG, somebody's putting out more material for it, which I'm printing like a fool. And this just really stands out as one of my all-time favorites because of how much I'm playing it, how much I love this game, how much, you know, Andrea has done with this and just continues to do with this. This is becoming like this cult status type of game where if you know it, you know, we're all kind of giggling with each other, but if you don't know it, you're missing out on something special. And I suggest you go over to Drive-Thru RPG and pick up a copy of 4 Against Darkness, because I'll tell you, you will not be disappointed. You'll see why it's my number 1 game. The ease of learning the rules, how quick you can get it to the table. You can play it by yourself or you can play it with 4 people. It's a lot of fun, a lot of twists and turns, and it's never the same. And it's fun, fun, fun. And I highly suggest it. So there you have it. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Well, that's what the comments are for, folks. And I hope you enjoyed this journey over the last 5 weeks of checking out the top 50 games of all time by Rob's Tabletop World. So until next time, it's your old pal Rob, bringing you plenty of content each and every day. We'll see you soon, everybody.